Imagine this. You walk into a job interview, your heart is racing, you know you have the skills, you know you can do the work. But when the interviewer asks you a question in English, your mind goes blank. You stumble, you freeze, and the opportunity slips away. Not because you're not intelligent, not because you're not capable, but because you couldn't express yourself. Or picture yourself in a room full of people, a global meeting, a conference, maybe even a casual dinner. The conversation flows in English. You want to speak, you want to share your thoughts, but fear chains your tongue. You stay silent. Later you walk away with regret, whispering to yourself, "If only my English was better." Now let me tell you something powerful. English is not just a language. It is a bridge to confidence, a bridge to career growth, a bridge to opportunities that you cannot even imagine today. English opens doors to the world. It is the language of business, of technology, of movies, of the internet, of international communication. Whether you dream of working abroad, starting your own business, traveling the world, or simply having the confidence to speak your mind, English is the key that unlocks those doors. But here's the truth. Most people treat English like a subject, like something they study in school and forget after the exam. That's why they fail. That's why they struggle for years, memorizing grammar rules, memorizing vocabulary lists, but never becoming confident. Why? Because English is not something you pass in a test. English is something you must live. Listen carefully. If you want to master English, you have to stop treating it like homework and start treating it like oxygen. You don't study oxygen, you breathe it every second. That is how English should enter your life through your habits, through your thoughts, through your daily actions. Think about it, babies don't take grammar lessons before they speak. They listen, they repeat, they practice without fear. And slowly their broken words become sentences, their sentences become stories, and their stories become powerful conversations. The same can happen with you, but only if you decide to make English part of your life, not tomorrow, not next month, but today. I know some of you are thinking, "But I'm too old." No, you're not. "But my English is too weak." That's exactly why you need to start. "But people will laugh at me if I make mistakes." Let them laugh. Because the one who laughs at you today will one day clap for you when you rise. You see, the only way to lose is to quit. Every great English speaker you admire today once spoke broken English. Every fluent communicator once made countless mistakes. What separates them from those who stay stuck is not talent. It is persistence, courage, and the decision to live in English every single day. So, this video is not just about learning English. It is about transforming your life. It is about unlocking opportunities, building confidence, and proving to yourself that you are capable of more. From today, make a promise to yourself. No more hiding, no more excuses, no more, "I will start tomorrow." From this moment on, English is not a subject. It is part of your lifestyle. It is part of your future. It is part of your success. Because the truth is simple. The world is speaking. The question is, will you stay silent, or will you rise and speak with it? Part 1. Your future speaks English. Your future is waiting for you. But let me tell you something most people don't realize. Your future speaks English. The jobs of tomorrow, the opportunities of tomorrow, the connections of tomorrow are all written in this global language. If you want to step into that future with confidence, English must be your companion. Look around. The biggest companies in the world, from technology to business, from science to entertainment, use English as their main language. When international teams collaborate, they do it in English. When new research is published, most of it is in English. When the internet speaks, nearly 80% of the content is in English. That means if you don't understand it, you are shutting yourself out of knowledge, out of growth, and out of possibilities. Think about this. Someone with average intelligence but good English will often get more opportunities than someone brilliant but unable to communicate. Why? Because in today's world, communication is power. You might have talent, you might have skills, but if you can't express them in a global language, the world will never know your value. That's the harsh truth. Let me share a story. There was a young man in India who wanted to work for an international company. He had the skills. He was hardworking. But every time he went for an interview, his lack of English pushed him back. People ignored his talent because he couldn't communicate. Instead of giving up, he decided to fight. Every single day, he practiced English. He listened to English news, spoke to himself in English, wrote his goals in English. In just 1 year, he transformed. And you know what happened? He got the job. Not because he suddenly became smarter, but because he learned to communicate his intelligence in English. Today, he travels the world, leading meetings and inspiring others who once doubted him. That's the power of English. It doesn't change who you are, it amplifies who you are. It takes your talent and puts it on a global stage. And here's what you must remember. Your dreams do not understand excuses. They only understand action. If you want to build a future where you are respected, where you can stand tall and speak without fear, then English must become your tool. Because whether you like it or not, the opportunities you are chasing, the interviews, the promotions, the global connections, they are all written in English. So don't think of English as just a language. Think of it as your passport. Your passport to a better job, a bigger income, new friendships, and a life full of opportunities. Without it, you may still survive. But with it, you can thrive. Remember this line. Your future speaks English. The question is, will you stay silent, or will you answer back with confidence? Part 2. Break the fear of mistakes. If there is one thing that kills more dreams than lack of time, lack of money, or lack of talent, it is fear. And for millions of English learners around the world, that fear is the fear of making mistakes. Think about it. How many times have you stopped yourself from speaking because you thought, what if I say it wrong? What if people laugh at me? What if I look stupid? That fear is the prison that keeps so many people silent. Not because they don't know the words, but because they don't have the courage to use them. But let me tell you the truth. Mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teacher. A child does not learn to walk by reading a manual. A child falls, stumbles, cries, and then tries again. And every fall brings them closer to walking. The same rule applies to English. You will mispronounce words. You will forget grammar. You will use the wrong vocabulary. And that's okay, because every mistake you make today is building the fluency you will have tomorrow. Let me give you a real story. A young woman from Brazil wanted to move abroad. She knew some English, but she was terrified of speaking. In her first job interview, she froze. She made mistakes, her sentences were broken, and people laughed. That day she cried. But instead of quitting, she promised herself, I will speak English, even if it's broken, even if people laugh, until one day they clap. She kept speaking, kept practicing, kept failing forward. And today, she works at an international company, giving presentations in the very language she once feared. The lesson? Fear only has power if you give it power. When you refuse to let mistakes stop you, fear loses its grip. Here's what you must understand. Nobody became fluent by staying silent. The only way to improve is to use the language, even when it's imperfect. Your broken English today is not something to be ashamed of. It's proof that you are learning, proof that you are growing. And remember this, people will always judge. Some will laugh. Some will criticize. But those people are not living your dreams. They are not paying your bills. They are not building your future. Why should their opinions matter more than your goals? Confidence doesn't come from perfection, it comes from action. The more you speak, the more natural it will feel. And one day, you will look back and realize that the same words you once feared are now flowing effortlessly from your mouth. So from today, make this your rule. Speak without fear. Don't wait for the perfect moment, the perfect grammar, or the perfect vocabulary. Perfection will never come. Progress will. Your mistakes are not the end of the journey. They are the path to success. And the sooner you break free from the fear of mistakes, the sooner you will discover the fearless English speaker inside you. Part 3. Build English into every breath. If you want to master English, here's the secret. Stop treating it like a school subject and start treating it like a part of your life. Because the truth is, fluency doesn't come from studying for 2 hours once a week. It comes from living with English every single day. Think about how you learned your native language. You didn't memorize grammar rules as a child. You didn't sit with a dictionary. You lived inside the language. You heard it every day. You spoke it every day. You breathed it every day. That's why it became effortless. And the same can happen with English if you make it part of your lifestyle. Here's the problem. Many people say, I don't have time to learn English. But the truth is you don't need extra time. You just need to replace small habits. Instead of scrolling social media in your native language, scroll in English. Instead of listening to songs you don't understand, play English music with lyrics. Instead of writing your shopping list in your native tongue, write it in English. It's not about adding more hours, it's about living your life in English. Let me share a story. A young man from Vietnam wanted to improve his English, but he had no money for expensive courses and no friends who spoke English. Instead of giving up, he made English his daily companion. He changed the language on his phone to English, started thinking in English, and even talked to himself in the mirror every morning. At first it felt strange, even silly, but slowly he began to notice changes. Words came faster, sentences flowed easier. In less than a year he became confident enough to talk to foreigners without fear. His secret wasn't a teacher. It was turning English into part of his breathing. That is your power too. You don't need a perfect environment. You can create your own. Make English the voice you hear in your head. When you wake up, tell yourself in English what your goals are. When you walk down the street, describe what you see in English. When you are alone, talk to yourself in English. It may sound crazy, but this simple shift can transform your fluency. Because fluency is not about studying harder, it's about living smarter. And the more you surround yourself with English, the more natural it becomes. Just like water shapes a stone over time, English will shape your mind if you let it flow through your daily life. So here's your challenge. Stop waiting for the right time or the right class. Start now. Turn English into your lifestyle. Read it, hear it, speak it, think it, breathe it. Make English part of your every breath, and one day you will realize you don't just know English, you live in English. Part 4. Replace entertainment with empowerment. Here's a hard truth. Most people say they don't have time to learn English, yet they spend hours every day on entertainment. They binge-watch TV shows, scroll endlessly through social media, play games, or watch videos that add nothing to their growth. And then they complain, "My English isn't improving." The problem is not time, it's priorities. If you want to make English part of your life, you must replace entertainment with empowerment. Every minute you spend consuming something in your native language is a lost opportunity to grow in English. Imagine if you switched that same time into listening, reading, or watching in English. Slowly, your brain would rewire itself. Your ears would adjust to the sounds. Your vocabulary would grow without you even noticing. Think about this. How do people become fluent in their native language? By constant exposure. Every song, every conversation, every movie, every book feeds their brain until the language becomes second nature. If you want English to be second nature, you need the same environment. Let me tell you about Maria, a young woman from Spain. She loved watching TV series but realized she wasn't improving in English. So she made a simple change. She started watching all her shows in English, first with subtitles, then without. She struggled at first, but slowly she started understanding. The words she once struggled with became familiar. Today, she speaks with confidence because she turned her entertainment into education. That's the choice you have too. Nobody is saying you must stop enjoying movies, music, or social media. The secret is to enjoy them in English. Watch your favorite movies in English. Listen to podcasts that inspire you in English. Follow English-speaking creators on YouTube or TikTok. Turn your entertainment into a classroom that doesn't feel like school. And here's the beauty of it. Your brain learns best when you're enjoying the process. When you laugh at a comedy show in English, when you get inspired by a motivational podcast in English, when you sing along to your favorite English songs, you're not just entertained, you're growing. Remember this line, your brain becomes what you feed it. If you feed it distractions, it becomes weaker. If you feed it English, it becomes sharper, stronger, and more confident. So the next time you reach for your phone or sit down to relax, ask yourself, is this entertainment or is this empowerment? Choose wisely. Because every choice you make is either taking you closer to fluency or keeping you stuck where you are. Make English your entertainment. Make English your empowerment. And soon, you won't just be consuming English, you'll be living it. Part 5. Turn your pain into fuel. Let's be honest, learning English is not always easy. There will be moments when you feel embarrassed, when you can't find the right words, when people laugh at your accent, or when someone dismisses you because of your mistakes. That pain is real. But here's the question. Will you let that pain break you? Or will you use it to build yourself? Every person who ever became fluent in English has a story of struggle. They have been laughed at. They have been ignored. They have been underestimated. But instead of quitting, they turned that pain into fuel. Think about this. Pain has two sides. One side pushes you down. The other side pushes you forward. The choice is yours. You can allow the humiliation of yesterday to chain you, or you can let it ignite a fire inside you. Let me share a powerful story. A young man from Bangladesh once shared that he lost a job opportunity because he couldn't answer questions in English during the interview. He walked out ashamed, heartbroken, and angry. But instead of giving up, he decided that his pain would not go to waste. Every single day, he practiced English like his life depended on it. He studied while traveling. He listened to English while eating. He spoke to himself when no one else would listen. That rejection became his motivation. A year later, he applied again, and this time, he got the job. The very weakness that once broke him became his strength. You see, pain is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your transformation. Without pain, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no strength. Every time you feel embarrassed, every time you are corrected, every time you fail, it is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you are learning. So the next time someone laughs at your English, smile. Because their laughter is proof that you dared to try while they stayed silent. The next time you fail in a conversation, don't hide, because that failure is teaching you more than silence ever could. And the next time you feel pain, remind yourself, this pain is temporary, but the progress it brings will last forever. Remember this powerful truth. The same fire that burns you can also cook your food. The same pain that hurts you can also fuel your growth. It's not about avoiding pain, it's about transforming it into your strength. So don't run from the struggles of learning English. Embrace them. Every tear, every rejection, every laugh directed at you, it's all shaping the unstoppable version of you. Turn your pain into fuel. Because one day, the very moments that once broke your heart will be the reason you stand tall, confident, and fluent in English. Part 6. The 1% Rule of English. When people think about learning English, they often imagine huge sacrifices, hours of study, expensive courses, or months locked away with textbooks. And because that picture feels overwhelming, they never even start. But here's the truth. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to become fluent in a week. You only need to follow one simple rule, the 1% rule. What does that mean? It means you improve just a little bit every single day. Not 100%, not 50%, not even 10%. Just 1%. Because small progress, repeated consistently, becomes unstoppable growth. Think about it like this. If you improve your English by just 1% every day, in 1 year you'll be 365% better than you were before. That's the power of compounding tiny efforts adding up into massive transformation. Let me share a story. There was a young woman in Turkey who struggled with English for years. She would start a course, quit halfway, then restart again. Every time she expected big results fast, and when they didn't come, she gave up. One day, a mentor told her, "Stop trying to be perfect. Just get 1% better each day." She decided to listen. So every day, she committed to just 15 minutes of English. Some days, she read an article. Some days, she learned 5 new words. Some days, she practiced speaking alone in her room. Nothing huge, just 1% progress. After 6 months, she could hold conversations with ease. After a year, she was speaking confidently in meetings. Her secret wasn't talent. Her secret wasn't luck. Her secret was the 1% rule. Here's the problem. Most people quit because they want results too quickly. They want to be fluent in a month, and when that doesn't happen, they lose hope. But fluency is not built in a month. It is built in daily drops of practice. Just like water shapes a rock, your daily habits will shape your English. So here's your challenge. Don't wait for free weekends. Don't wait for the right time. Don't wait for big study sessions. Instead, ask yourself, what's my 1% today? Maybe it's reading 1 page. Maybe it's writing 1 paragraph. Maybe it's listening to 1 podcast. Maybe it's learning 1 new word. It doesn't matter how small it feels. What matters is that you keep moving. Because one day, you will look back and realize that all those small 1% efforts combined into fluency, and you'll be grateful that you didn't quit when it felt too slow. Remember this: consistency beats intensity. Big efforts done once will not change your life. Small efforts done daily will. So stop waiting for the perfect plan. Stop chasing perfection. Start living the 1% rule of English. Improve just a little every day, and your future self will thank you for the transformation. Life is full of choices, and one of the most powerful choices you can make today is to decide that English will no longer just be a subject in your notebook. It will be a part of your life. Think about it. Language is not just a tool to communicate. It is a bridge to opportunities, a door to global connections, and a weapon to transform your confidence. By making English a daily practice, you are not simply learning words, you are learning to speak with the world. The truth is, success rarely comes to those who wait. Success belongs to those who act, who adapt, who push themselves beyond their comfort zone. Every great leader, every successful entrepreneur, every global influencer you admire, they did not limit themselves by language. They understood that the more you can communicate, the more doors you can open. And English is the language that opens more doors than any other in today's world. If you are waiting for the perfect moment to start practicing, let me tell you something. The perfect moment will never come. You will never suddenly wake up and feel ready. You will never suddenly feel confident. Confidence is not given. It is built. And the only way to build it is to act now. Start small, speak a little, write a little, listen a little, read a little, every single day. Each small step may feel insignificant in the moment, but when you look back after weeks, months, or a year, you will see a transformation that will shock you. English should not be treated as a burden, but as a gift. Imagine being able to walk into a job interview and answer with clarity and confidence. Imagine traveling abroad and speaking without hesitation. Imagine connecting with friends, business partners, or mentors from around the world. All of this is possible when you stop saying, "I will try to learn," and start saying, "I will live in English." Every time you hesitate to speak, every time you tell yourself, "I am not good enough," remind yourself, no one became fluent overnight. Every fluent speaker you see today once struggled. They made mistakes. They felt embarrassed. But they didn't quit. And that is the only difference between someone who dreams and someone who achieves. The achiever never stops. If you make English part of your lifestyle, it will not feel like study, it will feel like growth. When you think in English, you reprogram your brain for global success. When you practice speaking daily, you sharpen your mind for confidence. When you immerse yourself in English movies, books, podcasts, or conversations, you are not just learning. You are becoming unstoppable. The world is waiting for you. Opportunities are waiting for you. But they will not wait forever. If you don't take action, someone else will. If you don't build yourself, someone else will rise. And one day, you will regret not starting sooner. But regret is a choice. You can choose discipline instead. You can choose action. You can choose to make English your ally, your partner, and your power. So today I challenge you. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more fear. Make English part of your everyday life, because when you do, you are not just learning a language, you are building a future without limits. Speak, write, listen, think, live in English, and soon, the world will listen to your voice. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful language you will ever learn is not just English. It is the language of commitment, persistence, and belief in yourself. Combine them, and nothing can stop you. Now tell me, do you want to keep dreaming, or do you want to start living in English today? The choice is yours.